Makinde Adegbite was a name that resonated across Lagos and beyond. At 70 years old, he was a towering figure in the business world with vast wealth that spanned industries and continents. His legacy was that of a self-made billionaire, one who rose from humble beginnings to command respect and power. But despite his success, Makinde remained resolute, holding firm to the belief that wealth was earned through diligence and not entitlement. This principle guided his life, and much to their frustration, shaped how he raised his two sons, Goke and Dekola. Goke, at 42, was the older of the two brothers. Once a promising student, he had grown complacent, relying on the family name and wealth rather than carving out his own path. Dekola, at 38, wasn't much better. Though intelligent and capable, he preferred the ease of luxury over the rigors of hard work. Makinde's disappointment in his sons was an open secret, but he hoped they would eventually mature and find their footings. Makinde's personal life, however, was not without its own complications. His first wife, Olabisi, had been his rock, the woman who stood by him during his rise to greatness. Her passing 10 years ago left a void that his enormous wealth couldn't fill. Seeking companionship, Makinde remarried a few years later. His new wife, Yewande, was a strikingly beautiful woman of 37. With her radiant smile and impeccable charm, she quickly won over many in Makinde's social circle. However, her inability to bear children cast a shadow over their union. While Makinde never expressed dissatisfaction, whispers of discontent swirled among the staff and extended family. Makinde's household ran like a well-oiled machine, with his businesses managed by trusted associates and his sprawling estate maintained to perfection. But beneath this facade of order lay simmering tensions. Unknown to Makinde, his older son Goke had grown close to Yewande. What began as casual conversations turned into flirtations, and soon the two embarked on a clandestine affair. For Goke, Yewande represented access to power and wealth he felt he was denied of. For Yewande, Goke was an escape from a husband whose age and principles often made her feel stifled. Please subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, like, and comment. Thank you. The affair flourished in secret, aided by Makinde's busy schedules. Goke began to enjoy privileges he had never experienced before, from access to Makinde's private accounts to Yewande's influence in household decisions. The staff, though suspicious, dared not voice their concerns. It was a delicate dance of deception that could have gone unnoticed if not for the unexpected arrival of Barrister Phillips. Barrister Phillips had been Makinde's legal advisor for decades. Loyal and astute, he was one of the few people Makinde trusted implicitly. One afternoon, Phillips arrived at the estate unannounced, seeking Makinde's signature on an urgent document. As he walked through the mansion, he stumbled upon Goke and Yewande in a compromising position. Shocked, Phillips quietly left without alerting them. Once he was safely away, he debated whether to inform Makinde. Loyalty won out, and he arranged a private meeting with the billionaire. When Phillips recounted what he had seen, Makinde's initial reaction was disbelief, but as the details sank in, his expression hardened. "So, this is how they repay me?" he said softly, his voice laced with both anger and sadness. After a long silence, Makinde's sharp mind formulated a plan. "We will play their game, Phillips, but on my terms." The plan was as audacious as it was cunning. Makinde would feign blindness, claiming it was the result of a sudden viral infection that could potentially lead to organ failure. The rules would test the loyalty of those around him and expose their true intentions. Phillips agreed to assist, and within days, Makinde began his performance. He wore dark glasses at all times, moved cautiously with the aid of a cane, and pretended to rely on the staff for even the simplest things. The reaction was immediate. Yewande, who had once doted on him, now viewed him as a burden. Her amorous meetings with Goke became more frequent, and the affair grew bolder. At mealtimes, they exchanged flirtatious glances and subtle touches, assuming Makinde's blindness shielded them from detection. The staff noticed but remained silent, fearing repercussions. As weeks passed, Yewande and Goke's ambition escalated. They decided to rewrite Makinde's will, ensuring the bulk of his fortune will go to them. To lend credibility to their scheme, they approached Barrister Phillips, offering him a substantial percentage if he cooperated. Phillips, ever loyal to Makinde, pretended to agree, playing his role flawlessly. Makinde observed everything from behind his dark glasses, his heart heavy with betrayal. He watched as Yewande and Goke displayed affections, kisses and all, and how they schemed their greed and disregard for him laid bare. Yet, he remained patient, waiting for the right moment to act. The question was not whether they would fall into their own trap, but how spectacularly they will do so. Yewande and Goke's first move came during a family dinner. Goke, emboldened by his father's supposed blindness, began to suggest openly that perhaps it was time for Makinde to step back entirely from his business. "Father," he said, feigning concern, "you've worked hard all your life. With your health declining, it might be wise to let others take over." Makinde, hiding his disdain, nodded slowly. "Perhaps you're right, my son," he replied, his voice tinged with feigned weakness. "But who will manage things in my absence?" Yewande seized the moment. "Goke and I have been discussing this," she said smoothly. "He has a vision for the company's future, and with the right guidance, he could handle it." Makinde pretended to deliberate, then sighed. "Let me think about it," he said, ending the conversation, but inside, he was already 2 steps ahead. Over the next few days, Yewande and Goke worked tirelessly to solidify their plan. They held secret meetings with Phillips, drafting a new will that named them as the primary beneficiaries. Phillips played his part flawlessly, nodding and offering suggestions while secretly documenting everything for Makinde. Finally, the day came when Yewande and Goke presented the new will to Makinde. "Father," Goke said, placing the document in front of him, "this is for your protection. It ensures that everything is handled properly. In case," he hesitated, glancing at Yewande, "in case the worst happens." Makinde's hands trembled as he picked up the pen. He paused, then said, "I trust you both. You've always had my best interest at heart." Yewande and Goke exchanged triumphant glances as he signed the document. That evening, Makinde called Phillips to his study. "It's time," he said, his voice steely. Phillips nodded and left to make the necessary arrangements. The trap was set, and the stage was ready for the final act. The following morning, Makinde announced a grand family meeting to be held at the estate. The guest list included trusted business associates, extended family members, and key staff. Yewande and Goke, believing this was their moment of triumph, dressed impeccably and took center stage. Makinde, still wearing his dark glasses, appeared frail as he was guided to his seat. When the room was filled, Makinde rose slowly, his voice commanding despite his feigned weakness. "Thank you all for coming," he began. "Today, I wish to address matters of great importance." He paused, letting the weight of his words sink in. "But first, I must confess something." The room fell silent. Yewande and Goke exchanged nervous glances as Makinde removed his dark glasses, revealing sharp and unclouded eyes. Sighs echoed through the room. "I am not blind," Makinde declared, his voice steady, "and I have been seeing everything." He turned to Yewande and Goke, their faces pale with shock. "Your betrayal, your love affair, your scheming, your audacity to rewrite my will and think you could outsmart me?" He gestured to Barrister Phillips, who stepped forward with a folder. Every document, every meeting, every word has been recorded. The room erupted in murmurs as Felix began to read aloud the evidence. Yewande and Goke's faces crumbled as their lies unraveled before the audience. Makinde, unyielding, addressed them one last time. You have not only betrayed me, but disgraced yourselves. Your greed has blinded you more than I ever could have pretended to be. By the end of the meeting, Makinde announced his decision. Goke and Yewande were disowned and stripped of any claim to his fortunes. Legal proceedings were initiated to ensure they could not contest his will or interfere with his business. The estate was secured and Makinde's trusted associates took over key roles in his companies. As for Yewande, she left the estate in disgrace, her beauty now a shadowed mask for her tarnished reputation. Goke, realizing the depth of his folly, wandered aimlessly, his dreams of power shattered. Makinde, though heartbroken, found solace in the loyalty of those who remained by his side. Please subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, like, and comment. Thank you. He reconnected with Dekola, his younger son, encouraging him to take on responsibilities and learn from past mistakes. Slowly, the family began to heal, and Makinde's legacy remained intact, a testament to wisdom, resilience, and the unyielding pursuit of justice. The tale of Makinde Adegbite became a cautionary story in Lagos, a reminder that true vision lies in seeing beyond appearances and knowing who to trust.